your life of growing up famous is that doesn't end well for most people. You're remarkably together for someone who grew up famous. You know, it's a weird way. It's a weird alchemy to put together a human being where in your developmental stages, pre-teen, in fact, you're hugely famous.
Yeah.
What do you think that did for you?
What did it do for me?
Do you think that's a good thing? Or do you think it's a manageable thing?
I would say it isn't recommended because, like I kind of said in the beginning of this, it's like jumping in the deep end of the pool and not knowing if you can swim or not, and it can go one way or the other. Luckily, I swam.
But it almost always goes the wrong way.
I know.
Almost always.
And that I don't think comes very recommended, and I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've kind of been given this like special, I don't know, kind of special understanding of, I don't even know where it comes from because I'm really not religious, and I maybe it comes from like education of getting a good understanding of, you know, I've got kind of a good idea of like what fame does on kind of like if we're looking at it from a level of.
Were you thinking about this when you were young?
I wasn't thinking about this when I was young, but I started thinking about it at the time where I think it kind of mattered that I could go one way or the other, and that was probably when I was 17 and I bought Dr. Amen's book about understanding, like, kind of I get it, why I can't get high enough, like, on drugs, and why I end up doing more drugs than anybody else. I wrote a song where one of the lines says, I'll go toe-to-toe like I'm Ali, like I'll do more. There could be the biggest guy in the room, and I'll say, I'll be able to do more drugs than you. But it's because my level of what high is I felt it from, I mean, when you're having 15,000 people scream your name and sing along to your songs, it's like, you know how you're saying your float tank is getting high without drugs? It's like that, but times a billion.
No, I'm sure.
So it's really hard to come down off that. And I never luckily had a problem with like taking downers to bring myself down, but there was a lot of people around me that was like, you know, just take half of these and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm lucky I didn't start messing with downers.
I think it also might have to do with your head injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
There's a real big connection between people with traumatic brain injury and the need for either alcohol or cocaine or something to perturb your natural state of consciousness.
And a lot of my brain is really, really on. It's got like overactivity. But then again, if you kind of look at the part, that frontal lobe that kind of tells you, you know, yes or no, or stops you from making a bad choice. Mine gets a little sleepy sometimes when I'm not doing, especially when it comes to the diet. When my diet isn't, you know, it's annoying because I do like to, one, I'm country, so I like to eat bad food. I had never, my mom used to get mad if I would tell her I don't want butter. Like, my mom is
Butter's
like,
great for you.
Yeah, now I'm fine. But I just remember growing up, my mom, you know, we ate frozen waffles and all that. We don't know anything about nutrition. I grew up on that country diet, and so I learned a lot. I mark a lot of my, I guess, kind of like my grounding in the weight that I have, to my diet, to my supplementing, to my maintenance, to the diligence, to the sport that being an entertainer is.
It is a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Are you the boss?
Yes, I'm the boss.
You're the boss.
I'm the boss.
Do you have a mentor? Do you have someone that you can consult with when shit is weird?
I send faxes back and forth to Dolly Parton because that's how she communicates.
Oh, shit.
That's how we communicate.
Well, listen, that if you need a mentor, that's the mentor.
Exactly.
And there's a woman who's done it.
And I kind of, I try to kind of, you know, my life moves so fast. I try to kind of send her a little kind of rundown of what's going on every other month.
You guys fax
She
each other?
faxes me, then I send an email and they fax to her. They email the fax to me.
About that.
Yeah, it is. She records everything on the cassette and all that. But
she records it on a cassette.
And so I have actually a recording of her saying it. It's somewhere. It's on the beginning of Rainbow Land or at the end of it. But she says,
"Oh, I listened to that."
Yeah, she goes, "All right, I'm going to put this on my cassette. Then I'm going to run it down onto a CD. Oh, I'm so high tech."
Yeah.
Yeah.